Prayers and concern continue to pour in for Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills. You see him right here over my shoulder. A 24-year-old collapsed during Monday Night Football seconds after what appeared to be a rough tackle in the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. According to the Bills organization, the safety experienced cardiac arrest and was to be revived on the field before being rushed to the hospital. Joining me now to talk more about the health scare are vascular cardiologist and health policy expert Dr. Bernard Ashby, and former Miami Dolphins safety and a friend of mine as well, Louis Oliver. Thank you both for being here to have this very important discussion as prayers continue to go out for our man number 3 here. So first and foremost, before we get to you, Louis, Dr. Ashby, I want to ask you, what happened when we saw the hit? And now we're getting a little bit more familiar about what may have happened, which could happen with just a blow to the chest. Tell me a little bit more about what you saw, what you've seen.
Yes, I mean, first of all, prayers up and bless up to Mr. Hamlin and his entire family. I mean, this is really a tragic situation, and I'm really hoping and praying that he pulls through. So, watching the film, the first thing that I saw was the way he fell, and that was telltale sign that may have been a cardiac arrest because he did not protect himself. And in cardiology, we call it the lac sign or the laceration sign, meaning that the person didn't protect their face and then they ended up with damage to the face. And so even though he didn't damage his face, he had a helmet on and he fell backwards, the nature of the fall was quite telling. And so when we see that, it's always cardiac arrest until proven otherwise.
Okay, and a blow, just a blow,
yes.
A blow to my heart, to the area where my heart is. Explain
yes.
that.
So it's sort of a freak accident, to be honest, because the phenomenon is called commotio cordis, which is a rare phenomenon that occurs when you receive blunt force trauma to the chest right at a certain point in the cardiac cycle, which is only about 10 to 30 milliseconds long. So it really has to be an unfortunate confluence of events that leads to what we call a cardiac arrhythmia, which in normal circumstances, which in common circumstances is called ventricular fibrillation, and that's just when the heart is beating erratically to the point where it's not squeezing. And so even though the muscles are moving and fibrillating, it's not producing any blood flow to the brain and other organs, and as a result, the patient or the person passes out. And if you don't get a defibrillator to them in time, it can have a poor prognosis.
No, not only passes out, but he pretty much passed away on the field twice.
Yeah, and you know, we get into semantics a lot.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says I died,
yeah,
well, they're actually correct. By definition, when the heart stops,
yeah,
that's what we define as death. Okay, and the question is that reversible or not?
Yeah.
And in his circumstance, it's all about whether or not the emergency medical services were able to respond in time and restore what we call normal circulation or spontaneous circulation back to the body.
All right, I want to bring Louis into this conversation, Louis, because you're a former safety for the Miami Dolphins. You're also a former Gator as well. But I want to talk to you first and foremost. When you saw that hit, and you saw what happened, your thoughts, and then I want to talk about the dangers of football, which I love, by the way. I played it, so I played it as well. Not on the level that you played it, but I want to talk when you first saw that hit and you saw what happened.
Just watching the hit, it seems as though even though he was coming in to make a tackle on Higgins, it seems like his upper part of his face took the brunt of Higgins' helmet, because when he came in, he was tackling the receiver high, and Higgins happened to duck his head at the last moment and hit Damar here. And when I saw that, and then when I saw him fall, I was like, okay, just a delayed concussion. But it was way worse than that. The prognosis was way worse than that. I mean, like you guys said, this guy, he flatlined on the field, and they brought him back and got him to the hospital. He did it again, but I don't know. There's no way to make this game safe.
That's what I wanted to ask.
No way,
I want to
there's
get
no
to
way
that.
you can come out with the most creative space-age materials for helmets and shoulder pads. You're not going to make this game safe when you got guys 6'3", 6'4", 250 pounds running at the speed of animals. That's not going to happen.
And the things that you went through as a football player, and then you see some of the football players and what they're going through now. Now we're talking about the dangers. We're talking about CTE. We're talking about concussions constantly. I mean, it's an issue with the Miami Dolphins quarterback now. Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, so ACL injuries, ankle, shoulder injuries, everything else. So the dangers of football are there. So what can we do? Can we do anything to make it safer?
We're just going to keep watching it. I mean, I know when I played it throughout my 8-year career with the Dolphins, I had 3 concussions that I know of. I probably had more, but I didn't black out. I was able to function and continue playing. But I do recall the three concussions that I had. Yeah, Buffalo, Dallas, and Tampa Bay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right, well, Doctor, so I have to come back to you now because we are talking about the dangers of football.
Yeah.
We're just praying that Damar pulls through, Hamlin pulls through, of course. They're even saying that if he does, he could potentially play again.
Yeah.
If he wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to, but that's really up to him and his family. But I got to ask you, the dangers of football. You just heard Lewis talk about it. I mean, this is a dangerous sport.
Yeah. I mean, let me just take a step back a little bit here. Commotio cordis is extremely rare. So if you're a parent and you're concerned,
right,
it's way down there. I mean, it's highly unlikely. This is what we consider a freak accident. Okay, so the chances that this will happen is very rare. I mean, don't quote me on this, but you're probably more likely to get struck by lightning. Okay, meaning that everything has to go wrong for this to occur. But as it pertains to football, football is a dangerous sport. I mean, we talk a lot about CTE and neurological brain damage, which is very real, very prominent, very prevalent. However, there's other injuries, right? It's not natural to have grown men running themselves into each other and falling on the floor constantly. And as a result, your body takes a toll.
Yes.
And I'm sure you can speak to that.
And you can speak to that. And I want to ask you guys both of this. Okay, what about medical professionals? Okay, we've done everything. We have a spotter on the field to tell if you had a concussion. We saw what that went with as far as the Miami Dolphins are concerned against Buffalo at the beginning of the season. So, Lewis, is that what it takes? Do we make the helmets bigger? Do we add more cushion to the helmets? Do we add more medical? Thank God there was a defibrillator there. Thank God we have medical staff there in Cincinnati to attend to him. What do we do in order to make the game safer?
Juan, I mean, just honestly, they're doing what they can. I know from the time when I played and I walked into the Dolphins facility about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm looking at these guys' helmets and shoulder pads, and there's restructuring in the pads, and the helmets are different, and the inside padding is different. But at the same time, you're still going 20, 22 miles an hour. You 250, I'm 250. We hit like rams.
I heard it's equivalent to being in a car accident. That's what I've heard. And that's what I've heard.
The injuries are going to pile up. You can't play this game and not be in. The only way you don't get hurt, you don't play.
Or you're the kicker.
Even the kicker. I mean, I've seen kickers get knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
and that can happen.
This game, it's a gladiator sport. This is what we grew up playing, and we want to play it. And even a guy like Tua, 2 or 3, in a game. You got to kind of start weighing long-term what your life is going to be like after this game of football. So,
Does yours, okay, and you have kids?
Yes.
You have a son?
Yes.
Does he play football?
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling me now everything about it, you don't have a problem with him playing football?
No, and I told him, I said, look, if you want to play this game, Landon, it's a tough game, it's brutal on the body. You just gotta prepare yourself. And you're gonna get hurt. I mean, you're going to get injured. He's gotten injured in his varsity games. Hey, man, and they tell us as guys growing up, you got to be tough. You got to be strong. We don't quit. I mean, and that just leads you even into more injuries.
And your thoughts, because we talked about, what we can't do anything, but try to make the game safer by having more medical staff maybe there, on the field with the team. Your thoughts?
Well, I have a 3-year-old son.
And you have a 3-year-old son.
Yeah.
And?
Ain't no way he's playing football. ain't no way. No, not at all. I mean, I just know too much at this point. And the injuries are both physical and can be internal and long term, and you may not be able to realize some of the damage that was done until much later on in life. And understanding that when you do make it to the league, you do get paid very well, and you have a very amazing standard of living. However, that is a very small fraction of the best that make it to the league. And so you have literally hundreds of thousands of young men, mostly really, and some young women, but mostly men, who are really damaging their body. And I played football as well. I mean, I ain't even make it to high school, so I'm not even gonna front like I did something. I mean, I didn't hit my growth spurt until junior year. But if I did, I don't know. But the point is that is the risk worth the benefit? And I definitely question that, because, like Mr. Oliver said, and you alluded to earlier, this is something that is very dangerous. It is a dangerous sport, and it is kind of in Florida in particular, it's kind of your entry into manhood. I mean, if you play football, it teaches you to be tough, have mental fortitude, so on and so forth. But there's other ways to do that rather than playing something that's brutal.
And that's why my son Bryson will be playing basketball. He's going to try anyway. I don't know about his height, but I want to thank both of you for joining me for this important conversation. Dr. Ashby, Louis Alford, my friend, my brother. I appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You got it.